Well, hello everybody. It's been a while since I've done a live. Very tired, working long hours, shut down. It's pretty tough. Days off coming this weekend, though I got two. But I want to do this video. I've been watching all week. All the players here. This is critical knowledge. It's for all Canadians, all First Peoples. We're going to hit some major topics here. Full-blown political lies. Full-blown political lies all around the board. All around the board. There is one politician, would-be politician, who's trying like mad to become the next premier of Alberta. He doesn't go with the elite. He doesn't sign on to privy. In 8 years of his service out of Fort McMurray, Brian Jean never, ever swore to the crown and ascended to Privy Council. He could have. He never did. He's a lawyer. Now, folks, Trudeau is garbage. Underneath him is a journalist, Chrystia Freeland. She's out there right now in the media all week long, telling everybody, the same whopper of a lie that one Danielle Smith is attempting to use to lie to all Albertans. It's been covered extensively. Throughout Alberta independence, I covered it extensively. And today, I've worked in Alberta's oil sands most of my working life. Coal, oil sands, it's a toss-up. But you know what? Way more than a decade, almost 17 years, just in regards to the oil sands. All the oil refineries, I've been through all of it in my lifetime. And this video today, folks, is for all of you being manipulated, whether you're a liberal or whether you're a conservative, or so you think you're a conservative. This is in relation to Churchill, the shallow access port Churchill. Goes into the bay, it freezes over during the winter, and is shallow. Folks, if you haven't learned this yet, I'm going to say it again. There is no shipping of any of your energy products, no matter what they may be, on any Aframax freighters. None whatsoever. Who owns almost all of Canada's Aframax freighters? Well, that's Paul Martin, former Liberal Prime Minister Paul Martin. Why no Conservative and no Liberal addresses this is for one clear reason. They're corrupt. They're both corrupt and in bed with each other. We are never, ever going to use Churchill. If you're going to use Churchill, there's only one location that oil could go legally in this world. Do you know, folks? Do you know what that truth is? It's called Russia. Russia is the only access with Aframax out of that bay going north, is the only other client we could ever go to with Aframax freighters. And folks, the window is this big, and there is no guarantee without Russia's breakers letting us do that. So why would anybody bring forward Churchill? Because here's the second part of this explosive video. That's not explosive for me, but apparently Canadians, especially Albertans, massively from the Conservative Party, seem to need to be educated on this. There is not one oil sands company, American or pure Canadian, whether it's CNRL, even though there's a foreign board, whether it's Syncrude and its 5 partners, or it's Suncor, and we can go on and on through all of them, all the way down 771. We can go through all the energy players, absolutely every single one. And I can tell you all right now, as clear as day, that Justin Trudeau with his Chrystia Freeland and Pierre Poilievre with his lunatic Danielle Smith, both of them no good people, no good, filthy liars. You can't bring in front of me today, not even one CEO from any operating energy producer in Canada today, whether they're American, whether they're Chinese, or whether they're Canadian, that's going to tell you, or French, France is there too, is going to tell you that Churchill's the way to go. Not one. There are only two. There are only two ports in Canada that any, and I repeat, any of the energy producers were interested in for more than 30 years. That's how old this reality is. And I have to educate everybody today. I have to call out Danielle Smith and Chrystia Freeland as full-blown liars. Not a little lie. This is a massive, explosive lie that somehow we can revitalize Churchill, enriching Paul Martin shipping, and get anywhere other than the USA. Not going to happen, folks. You get to take your Aframax freighters down to USA, and you get to trade to their super tankers, and they ship out. Nothing else. You don't get to take those across the ocean east, and you don't get to take them across the ocean west. This has been cemented. January 2020, January 1st, 2020. Nobody in the world can ship on anything over the sulfur fuel content, which means you need large capacity VCLMs, 1 million to 2 million capacity tankers, or you don't transverse the ocean. There are only two ports in Canada that all energy producers, this is natural gas too, this is also absolutely all your oils, sweet, sour, thick crude, doesn't matter what grade. You don't cross the ocean, east or west, outside of two deep port accesses. Northern Gateway, which they lobbied for 30 years. Did Harper answer them? No. Did Trudeau answer him? No. He even amended and added Bill C-69 and C-48. Tanker banned and pipeline banned. Folks, you're getting raped, pillaged, and plundered on your resources. You're being screwed over by corrupt liberals and conservatives. NDP's in there like a dirty shirt. Don't think they're there with the liberals. They all are pigs at the trough. They lie to you steady. I put this video out, and it's your responsibility, folks, to share it. As a challenge, I will sit down with Danielle Smith, Chrystia Freeland, Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre, and all the CEOs, absolutely all of them. I have a whole list of all their names, and I will debate, and we will find out who's telling the truth. And you know who the judges will be? Will be the CEOs of all the energy producers. Let's hear what they have to say. First Peoples, do you like UNDRIP? All the First Peoples up here in Treaty 8 I'm working for are finding out just how bad UNDRIP really is. As they're getting taxed on jobs, nothing the clients can do about it, nothing the construction companies can do about it. It's all UNDRIP. It's all Justin Trudeau, sponsored by the opposition who was there, Pierre Poilievre, just a year ago today, was there cementing it. You're all being played by crummy actors, journalists, TV personality, celebrities who run your country, whom none of which have ever really worked a real day's work. They've lived on the silver spoon, the tit of the taxpayer, as we go out there and work, as people go out there in their innovation, in their businesses, and get screwed. Canadians, First Peoples, Albertans, you're being conned, manipulated, and screwed out of what is yours. More it's your labor, and more it's your businesses. Comply, capitulate, take our lies, eat them with a spoon. It's wrong, wrong, wrong. And all of you have a responsibility to get this video out there. I will debate all day long. I would have all the CEOs come to that table, and you can all hear it from their mouths. They begged, they pleaded for 30 years, folks. Northern Gateway Energy East, deep port, big tanker capacity. That's the only way. Otherwise, straight down south, processed through U.S. refineries who can deal with crude. And that's not really working these days for Canada and Alberta, is it? It's not. We have the lowest priced oil in the entire world. Russia sells under tremendous sanctions for more than both. Whether it's Canadian Select or WSI, doesn't matter. We get played. We're being lied to. Shell left Alberta. Shell left the West Coast. Why? Because for 30 years they begged for deep port access, big capacity pipeline, and absolutely infrastructure for the big VCLMs. And they never got it. And finally they said, that's it. We're out of here. This is a loser's folly. We don't get investment because your politicians want to whip you. They want to beat you. They want to lie to you. They want to keep you a slave, feeding their fat faces and fat, deep pockets. Corrupt. You can't find a CEO of any of these major oil companies, all of them, to come forward and tell you exactly what I just said isn't true. They'll say, he just told you the truth. And we did beg for 30 years. And not a conservative, not a liberal would answer. None. And worse out west, they tried to force these companies, these energy producers, to fight the unceded Indians. That was the game. Put them in the line of fire. Make them the bad guy doing the government's work, and none of them wanted to do it. That's not their business. This is the country you have. This is the crown that must be destroyed. We have to stop. We have to stop letting liars and losers run the country and run us all into the ground, because that's what they're doing. Go look at the numbers. Canada's energy products are the lowest in the world. It's not because they're crummy products. It's because we have crummy politicians who don't keep up with the times. Churchill is a no-go. Unless we're going to Russia. If we have some deal with Russia I don't know about, I doubt it. Russia hates our guts now. So I doubt that's the reason. Anyone selling you Churchill is a big, fat, bull-faced liar and is not in touch with reality. You go to USA and say you're going to ship on the open sea with Aframax freighters. You know what USA is going to say? No, you're not. And go ahead if you do. It's not our problem what happens to your tankers when they're out there at sea and what the rest of the world's going to do to you. We're not going to help you. You knew the law. You knew what you had to do. USA did it. Look at Loop, Louisiana. They follow it. Everybody follows it except for your lunatic Canada, your socialist, autocratic dictators. Their provincial crown, their federal crown. Danielle Smith, I've seen all of her federal MPs at multiple meetings. She goes around the province being funded, being supported. Pierre Poilievre. And then there's Chrystia Freeland trying to do the same thing, sell the same lie nationally through Justin Trudeau. Let's just lie to all Canadians, especially all Albertans, and they eat it like a spoon. If you love your people, all Canadians, all Albertans, all the First People, share the video, get it out there. UNDRIP, Aboriginal, all these attachments that are not legal. Anyone wants to know the truth, I teach First Peoples up here each and every day I can. Look at the truth. It's right on CRA. You can look at Section 87 for non-taxable income. You'll learn it's the Indian Act. That Aboriginal, Indigenous, and UNDRIP are not law. They're not law. And they can't lie to you and say it is. There you find the government's confession. Right there. Go read it under tax law 87. Read it. It's all for all of you. There is the liar. Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre, Jagmeet Singh, Maxime Bernier. We can go on and on. They're all guilty. And Canadians, you're the slaves to work forever, knuckle to bone, as they rob you of all of your resources, promised provincially, but never enshrined in any constitution, as was called for in 1867. Right there in your 212-page document, very early on, the big V section, section 58, you can clearly read it, provincial constitutions. Where are they? Why is the Premier and the Lieutenant Governors not doing this right across Canada? Why have they never done it? Because they're all in bed with the very centralized, socialist regime autocracy way up here on the autocratic scale. That's your country, and it's going down. The rape, pillage, and plunder is coming to an end. Share this video. Get it out there. It's credible, real, verifiable, and I will debate these evil leftist, rightists, autocrats way up here. Because right or left don't matter when your government's right up here on the autocracy scale and you're all down here, the whipped slaves, the savage Indian. Again, all legal speak, I didn't create, real. And any first person that wants to know the truth, go on Revenue Canada, Section 87 of the Income Tax Act for First Peoples, and there the government has to tell you the truth. I'm sorry, but we have to use Treaty Indian because that's the legal speak. Indigenous isn't legal. Aboriginal isn't legal. UNDRIP isn't legal. It's all a scam. Liberals, conservatives, they bounce back and forth on it. All evil, all here to absolutely rob and bind the slaves and smash down the savages. It's real. It's real. And you can blame oil companies, you can blame natural gas companies, you can blame all kinds of resource companies, but you know what? They obey or they get knocked down to third class. Game over for them. That's how it works. And if you line up all the CEOs, they'll tell you what I just said all over the last 30 years is 100% correct. And since January 1st, 2020, how is it Justin Trudeau, Chrystia Freeland, Pierre Poilievre, and Danielle Smith don't seem to know these truths? They're mighty politicians, aren't they? Isn't Chrystia Freeland an award-winning journalist? Isn't Danielle Smith a terrific radio personality, investigator, looks up all these stories? How is it they all seem to not know this? Isn't Pierre Poilievre, wasn't he on Privy Council? Wasn't he on Harper's Privy Council? How does he not know all these things? How is some low-life degenerate Boilermaker welder able to know all this stuff and known it for quite a few years, but they don't, and then they sell you all lies, and you eat it with a spoon, and Brian Jean cries out, and people call him a liar, or he's jealous, when he's trying to save us, because taxpayers get fucked every day of their life, and it's on your children, those debts, and he cares enough to tell you the truth. He stands up to tell you the truth, and you don't want to hear it. This is reality. And it sucks that that's the reality. But you know it now. And you have to share it. You have to get it out there. If you don't, you're part of the problem. You're destroying your own children. Think about it. Get the truth out. I will debate them any day of the week with all the CEOs of every energy company, and you will all see the truth. But they don't want that. They won't do it. This video isn't going down. Share, share, share. Get it out there. Thanks, everybody. And tomorrow, more on Pierre Poilievre. More. We're going to do part 2. Bye now.